Matthew and Ann Adrians wanted to build a vacation home that would be large enough to fit their entire family. At 4,000 square feet on a 10-acre plot of land, this one certainly fits the bill.
They can't believe that we live in an orange house inside shipping containers. I mean, it either shocks them or it cracks them up.
This space has room for everything. Carved out on the first level is a modern kitchen complete with a giant island and dining room table that seats 15. There's also a library with its own sitting area and a huge family room. 2 teak staircases with metal railings lead the way to multiple bedrooms and bathrooms. While the downstairs containers were cut open to allow one room to flow naturally into the next, upstairs the containers were kept intact, making each room its own private individual space. In total, the house consists of 12 separate containers.
My family is all here in the summertime, and the area is breathtakingly beautiful.
Because the Adrianses built their container house as a vacation home, they wanted to push the envelope and make sure it looked nothing like their main house.
Our house at home is a fabulous, quintessential example of Victorian architecture. It's on the National Historic Registry.
People often in their second houses will be much more kind of willing to take on a lot more risk than they do in their primary houses.
And such rugged architecture allows for effortless maintenance.
It's easy. The whole idea was to make this an easy summer place. So, you come in from the beach, you're wet, you're in your suit, you got sand on your feet, you just walk into the house. It's a cement floor. Open the door, get the leaf blower, blow all the dust out, and that's the extent of the maintenance of this place.
Building a house out of cargo containers takes a creative mind. An architect for more than 2 decades, Adam Kalkin has a reputation for thinking outside the box. When Matthew and Ann went to him for a unique design, he let his imagination go to work.
Well, I like the idea of taking an object which was designed specifically to perform one kind of task and then use it in a totally kind of different way. They've all been shipped in different places, have had different stuff in them, so they're all, have their own history written on them.
Adam's inspiration came from frequent drives into New York City from New Jersey, where he witnessed hundreds of stacks of empty cargo containers. With already assembled structures, he saw immediate time savings on constructing a house.
It's a ready-made material which you don't have to create, given that labor is usually about 50% of the cost of a building. There's some man-hour savings.
For Adam, the design of the house was pretty simple. Much like stacking building blocks, he just needed to figure out how tall the structure would be and how many blocks, or containers, he wanted to use. One thing to consider, a 20-foot-long shipping container weighs more than 4,000 pounds empty. So the job would take the skill of a commercial builder. The first step for the build team was to make a level area to stack the containers. So they cleared a plot of land and poured a concrete foundation. The first 6 boxes were placed into 2 T-shaped wings. They were then bolted to the foundation to form the ground level of the house. Next, 6 more containers were set on top, making the entire structure 17 feet tall, stretching 81 feet across. The individual containers would become 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a library, an office, and a walk-in closet. Lastly, custom floor-to-ceiling windows and an industrial-strength roof were added to finish the job. And the guy with the biggest responsibility at this construction site? The welder. Since these are individual steel structures, each container had to be welded to the next to make one solid house.
The guy who did the welding spent weeks here and lived, up in his car. I think he actually slept in his car.
But all the hard work paid off, and the Adrianses got a home way beyond their expectations.
One of the most fascinating experiences of this place is you don't know whether you're inside or you're outside. This gigantic glass garage door, which comes open, it's just a wonderful opportunity of being with the elements, but also safe and cozy inside your, extreme building.
Still, these are cargo containers, which were intended to carry items, not people. So things like temperature control can be a bit of a challenge.
This is in Brooklyn, Maine, And it gets cold here, and we keep it heated throughout the year. It's radiant heat, so it all comes up through the floor, which is a cement slab. The insulation was blown in, and then sheetrock on the outside, which you can see on the inside of the containers. Given how much glass there is, it's still a challenge to, really effectively insulate.
This may be a big house, but with bedrooms and bathrooms that are only 8 feet wide, the function of each space had to be well thought out, and sometimes highly technological.
This is our master bathroom here. The way Adam designed this house is rather interesting in some of the small features and details as well as the big container. The way the faucets work here, you'll see that the water turns on for the sink, for the shower, and for the tub, all from the same faucet that I'm using here. And one of the best things about this bathroom is standing in the shower and being able to look at the bay.
To me, this house is a metaphor for how we live, which is challenging conventionality and really looking to upset the status quo, not just for the sake of upsetting it, but to open people's eyes and hearts and minds.